What's going on, everybody? Kalipis Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Pure. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for this phone that you might not know about. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review of it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is a quick way to get to your camera. Now, opening the camera app is easy enough, but if you're in a different app, doing something completely different on your phone, then it might be a little inconvenient, especially if you want to capture something really quickly. So in this case, all you need to do to get to your camera is double tap the power key. As you can see, the camera opens right up, giving you real quick and easy access. Now, if by any chance you happen to use the Google Assistant and you want to use the power key to launch that instead of the camera, you can actually do this, and I'm going to show you how. So all you need to do is go to your settings, go down to System, go to Gestures, and where it says double press power key, you're going to want to tap here. As you can see, by default, it's set to launch camera. You can also have it launch the assistant, or you can turn it off completely. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to show or hide your battery percentage on the status bar. As you can see right now, there is no battery percentage. All we have here is the icon. But if you do want to show the battery percentage, you can do this. So first thing we're going to do is go to Settings, go to Battery, and right here where it says battery percentage, you're going to want to toggle this on. And as you can see up here, the battery percentage is now showing. And if you want to turn it back off, all you need to do, of course, is just toggle it right back off. Now, some people might like to have the battery percentage for convenience just to see where you're at battery-wise. But at the same time, when you don't have the battery percentage showing, in my opinion, the status bar is a little bit cleaner looking, and I personally prefer this look. Now, if you're like me and you do like it like this, but at the same time, you still want to see the battery percentage, you don't actually have to have it permanently showing in order to see it. All you need to do is pull down your notification center like this, and it's going to show up right here. Now, while we're in the battery mode, I'm going to show you another battery feature called Battery Saver. This is a really useful feature if your phone is dying and you need to prolong its life a little bit more so you can get to a charger. All you need to do to turn on Battery Saver is go right here and hit Turn On Now. But another cool thing you can do so you don't even need to bother with this is go to Set a Schedule. And now you're going to be able to choose which percentage you want it to turn on at. As you can see, the default is 5%, which in my opinion is super low. I personally would set it to 20. I think that's a good number, but of course, definitely do whatever you're comfortable with. Now, just so you know what it looks like, when you turn on the battery saver, it's going to do this. The display is going to be in dark mode. It's going to be real obvious that it's on. You can even tell by the battery icon itself. Now, a fair warning, when you do have this mode on, it's going to hinder your phone's performance a lot. And being that this phone isn't a very fast phone to begin with, you're really not going to want this on unless you absolutely need it. Now, because of this, it is important to turn it off when you don't need it. So if your phone's not dying, say it's at 90% or something like that, you're really not going to want this on. But luckily, by default, it will turn off as soon as you charge up to 90%. So even if you somehow forget you turned it on, it's still automatically going to turn off when the phone knows it doesn't need it. As with many features on this phone, there actually is a shortcut to Battery Saver. So instead of going to the battery menu, all you need to do is open your quick menu by swiping down twice. And the Battery Saver is going to be right here. All you need to do to turn it on is tap the icon. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called 3-finger screenshot. This is a really cool alternate way to take a screenshot that can be a little bit more convenient. So in case you don't know, the regular way to take a screenshot with this phone is by pressing the power key and the volume down key at the same time, just like this. This is going to show up right here, and that's how you know the screenshot's been taken. Now that's really easy. It's a pretty standard way to take a screenshot, but the 3-finger screenshot option is also really cool, and I personally like it a little bit better. Now this feature isn't enabled by default, so you are going to have to go to your settings to turn it on. So let me show you where that is. Once again, we're going to go to System, go to Gestures, and go to 3-finger screenshot near the bottom. As you can see, I already have mine on, but yours might not be on, so definitely double check before actually trying to use the feature. But once you've verified that 3-finger screenshot is active on your phone, taking a screenshot is real simple. All you need to do is put 3 fingers on your screen, spread a little bit apart, and hold it for just a second. And there we go. There's another screenshot. Now keep in mind that this is not an either or kind of thing. Just because you have this feature active doesn't mean you can't do it the normal way too. So it really just gives you another option to take a screenshot. So I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't want it active unless you're somehow triggering it by accident, but that's pretty unlikely. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called adaptive brightness. This feature is going to automatically adjust the brightness of your display based on your environment. So if you're in a really well lit room, the brightness of course is going to be a little bit brighter so it's easier to see. But if you're in the dark, it's going to go down by a lot. This is going to help save battery, and it's also going to help your display be a little bit easier on your eyes. So to activate this feature, it's really simple. We're going to go back to our settings, go to display, and go to adaptive brightness right here. As you can see, I currently don't have mine on, but if I toggle this on right here, it's automatically going to adjust. Now in theory, this feature would be perfect, but despite it being a really cool feature, it doesn't always work 100% for everyone. Some people, me included honestly, just prefer to have the brightness at 100% at all times, and that's completely fine. But if you haven't used the feature before, I definitely recommend giving it a try to see if you like it, because who knows, you might. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called fast flashlight. As the name of the feature suggests, this is basically a quick way to turn on your flashlight without going like this. Instead, with fast flashlight on, you can actually turn your flashlight on and off with a quick gesture. So let me show you how it works. We're going to go to our settings, go down to system, go to gestures, and make sure fast flashlight is on. As you can see, mine is currently on. So again, like with the 3-finger screenshot, before you actually attempt this, be sure the feature is activated. Now with this feature on, all you need to do to turn on your flashlight is go like this. So as you can see, it's real quick and easy, but I will warn you, it does take a little getting used to, so be prepared for it not to work the first time. But once you get the motion down, it's a lot easier than turning it on manually. The next thing I'm going to show you is a quick way to silence your phone. This is called the prevent ringing feature. Now you don't actually have to worry about activating this in the settings because it is on by default. Not to get confused with taking a screenshot, to use this feature, you're going to be pressing the power key, and instead of the volume down key, you're going to be pressing the power key and the volume up key. When you do, this little banner is going to show up, and this is how you know your phone is silenced. If you really want to double check, you can check the status bar, and if this little icon right here is on, that's how you know your phone is in vibrate mode. Now I want to clarify real quick, I personally use the term silenced and vibrate mode interchangeably because to me that's basically the same thing. But if you really want to get technical with it and put your phone on mute, you can actually have the prevent ringing feature do that. All you need to do is go back to that gesture menu where it has pretty much all the gesture features. And in case you forgot, that's going to be settings, system, gestures, and right here, we got the prevent ringing feature. As you can see, by default, it is on and set to vibrate. But if we tap here, you can either turn it off completely or set it to mute. Now, when it's set to mute instead of vibrate mode, if we press the buttons one more time, it's going to say mute. And you can see right up here, this little icon right here is going to show that your phone is in fact set to mute. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to create a screen recording. This is a pretty basic feature, but weirdly enough, not every phone can do it. And I really don't get why, because there are phones that are much more expensive than this. They don't have a native screen recorder. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but this phone actually does have one. So let's take a look at how to use the feature. Real simple, probably one of the easiest things you can do with this phone. All you need to do is open your quick menu by swiping down twice. Scroll to the second page. And you're going to want to tap on the icon that says Screen Record Start. This little countdown is going to show up. And as you can see now, we are recording the screen. And when you want to stop, simply hit the stop button. And once you stop a screen recording, you're going to see in your notification center, it's going to be saved to your photos. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Nightlight. Earlier in the video, when I showed you the adaptive brightness feature, remember how I said a lot of people like to just have their brightness at 100%? I can tell you personally, I am one of those people. For whatever reason, I just like to have my brightness as high as it'll go. I don't care a whole lot about battery, just because I can usually plug my phone in, I'm usually around a charger. But one thing having your brightness at 100% can do is bother your eyes, especially if you're on your phone a lot. Because of this, I do like to use the Nightlight feature in order to keep the display bright, because this feature allows you to keep your display as bright as you want without being so hard on your eyes. So let's take a look at what exactly this feature does. So we're going to turn it on by going to Settings, Display, in Nightlight right here. So when you turn this on, it's going to tint the screen in an amber color, and this is going to help filter out some of that blue light, because blue light typically does bother people's eyes, especially if you're on your phone a lot. You can change the intensity as well, and you can even set a schedule to have it turn on and off at a certain time. Overall, I really like this feature. I personally use it a lot, so if you do like to keep your display really bright at all times, I would definitely suggest giving Nightlight a try. The last thing I'm going to show you is a feature called attentive display. This feature basically prevents your phone from falling asleep when you're using it, and it's a real nice alternative to just turning up your screen timeout time, because when you do that, you run the risk of forgetting to lock your phone, and then the display is going to stay on forever, draining your battery constantly. So what attentive display does is uses the front-facing camera to detect your face, and as long as you're looking at the phone, the display is going to stay on. So in order to turn this on, we're going to go to Settings, Display, Advanced, and go down to attentive display. As you can see, it's not on by default, but if you turn it on, it's going to ask for permission, hit while using the app, and you're going to get some short on-screen instructions to set it up. Once you do, it's going to be on, and that's pretty much it. But those were my tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Pure. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found these tips and tricks useful as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And again, if you do want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and other videos about this device on the channel. But that's it for this one. As always, I will see you in the next video.